Journey with Jess editor here. Thank you so much for tuning into part 2 of episode 9. If you haven't had a chance to watch part 1, definitely make sure to check it out. And I hope you enjoy this week's episode.
You mentioned in the beginning about how now that you've been diagnosed with ADHD, you have your medications or whatever, but like anxiety has become more prevalent or showing up more in your life, or at least you recognize it.
I never had, I don't know, never, but I guess I didn't notice it wasn't prevalent before ever, the anxiety aspect. And so when I started this new major, this new master's, it wasn't really the anxiety of the going back to school because I feel like I'm always in school, but it was the change at my job. It was like a slight anxiety because it's not that I'm going in such a different major than the first master's that I had. It's along the same thing, but it's something different, right? It's more, I guess, structured, you could say. In my eyes, it's more serious. What I mean by that, because, there's internships as hell. You have to do this, and that. And so I'm not saying my first master's was nothing, but it was in person. It was right before the pandemic, blew up. So it was in person. So, I guess that was what was the structure for me. Because, I was there and I was like, okay, but this time, because I have work and I know I had to do an internship, I chose this program to be online only. So that was, I guess, subconsciously another anxiety that came on that I guess I didn't realize till kind of right now. Because like I said, I'm more hands-on. When you have online classes, mine was strictly online. So it's you do things on your own time, things are obviously due XYZ date. You have to get them all done in XYZ date, but the rest, you don't really have to show up to lecture. It's up to you, basically. You want to learn, you do the shit on your own, watch the lecture and do the homework. And first semester, I did really well. I demolished it. But then this semester, a million of things happened personally, whatever. I mean, I don't care to talk about it. I don't care to get personal, but the first half of the semester, so my classes are split into 2 semesters. The first half was January to March. It was 2 classes, that short time. And then the second half was March. So it's supposed to be till July. And that's the internship and the other 2 classes. In February, I was really hopeful in getting this job, this federal job. And so that didn't turn out. I'm not negative Nancy. I like to say I'm realistic. I don't like expecting things, or I guess, I don't want to say expecting, but I guess being super hopeful, because then I don't like to be decepcionada. It would eat at me, you know what I mean? So this is all based on when I was younger, claimer, this is father issues coming up, saying that. But so I'll just say quickly. So when I was younger, my father lived in Florida. Like a dumb little girl, I would always want to have, I just wanted to have him to come to my graduation, elementary school, middle school, around all that bullshit. And so, but I will always be so hopeful, and my mom would be oh, don't expect much, but and then my aunt would be yeah, sí, como no. I'll be okay, a stupid little girl, no. And so it would never happen. So until then I was and then I just never never expected nothing, seriously, because for of course trauma based, but because for me I'd rather be neutral, I guess, maybe towards the negative side a little bit, but more neutral in my sense, because if si no pasa, si no da, okay, it's not I'm up here I can't wait, woohoo, and then it's just LOL, trip me, you know what I mean? So it's because of that, I'm just you don't
want to be disappointed, right? Go through that heartbreak and stuff.
So I went back to that, I'm hopeful, I got this, this is my way out, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy because I don't let myself get to that level. And I haven't since, like I told you, since I was a little girl, really. So I let myself get to that level because I'm I'm grown, blah, 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 I'm older. And so when it didn't happen, I was mega decepcionada, to the point I was just I don't know, I guess gave up, shut down kind of sense.
Yeah. So, it wasn't your dream job? Was it the Secret Service job? Yeah. You've been wanting that.
Yeah. I just took it really heavily. And so I kind of shut down in a sense, in all the aspects in school and work and everything. So, and usually, I mean, I told the director of my major a couple of days ago, Like years ago when I was in school and my grandma died, I was the closest to her ever, like ever. And when she passed away, I was in school and I still killed it in school. This was much heavier than that.
Right. You were grieving a loss, but I think it's different when it's like your dream job. Like you've been talking about this since like I've known you, and it's been almost 10 years ago.
And actually, another funny thing, quick sidebar, that's another reason why I also wore suits, because I was like, LOL, I'm going to wear this when I'm older and I'll grow up like an idiot. So that's another reason why I also was like cool with that. But anyways, so yeah, so once that happened, it was like una cosa la otra, literally. So that happened, let's say February. After that, I felt like my medication wasn't working. Not only was I kind of putting myself behind in school, but then now I'm getting even more behind because I can't focus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like I'm kind of not reverting back to when I was in high school, but it was like I found kind of my middle ground and I'm going below that and I'm trying to come back to my middle ground. You know what I mean? So that's when I went to my psychiatrist, like, bro, like this medication is like me taking M&M's. Like, this is not doing anything right now. So like, help me out. And so that's when, like I told you, we took a break from the medication, from what I took every day, and then went back to another one. And then, so when I went back to the generic Adderall, it did give me that, I guess, effect that I needed to. But because of that break, and I was still taking another medication, but that's the one I told you didn't last more than 2 hours. But that one gave me like hyper focus. For me, it was useless because I was hyper focused for 2 hours. And it was just like, you know, it's like when someone crashes from caffeine, you know, you're like sleepy, you're done up, you know, like that. So that happened. And then I'm like, bruh. And then, right. So that was like literally back to back, February, March, April. And then April, I ended up getting shingles. And I'm like,
oh shit, dude.
Bruh. And mind you, I don't have insurance. I don't have insurance. So first of all, I thought I was dying. I'm like, what is this? I'm dying.
Did you know you had shingles?
Because my mom has had it since she was my age. I was like, Mom, I'm dying. Something's killing me. And she was like, bro, shut up. That's, you know, what I've had for XYZ years. I had to deal with that with no insurance. Like, it didn't bother me that I got it. I'm not like, oh, boo-hoo. But like, this attacks your nerves. And my whole life, my mom has had it. So like, I apologize to her a lot, but I would just think my mom is dramatic. She's like the girly, you know, the cartera, the nails, whatever. So I'm like, you know, when something's like affecting you, it's gonna affect you more because, you know, you don't get scabs, you don't get cut because you're not a machona like me. So I was like, that pain probably won't affect me. I was like, yeah, right, bro. The second I felt the pain, I'm like, I'm sorry, you know, like, you got this. I couldn't sneeze without having pain, bro. Even now, and it's been 2 months.
Wow.
And so like so you know how when you feel sore from the gym, right? It's like that, but like more internal, like deeper. It's crazy to explain. And so I was like, perfect, this is the best months of my life. I dealt with that. And then I had an issue with my job where I couldn't do the internship as I was supposed to. Mind you, was supposed to start at the end of March. So it is May 100th and we're mega behind. I had to speak to the director because we're all like, although my semester's till July, we're in June. We're in May 100th. It's already done. We're in June, like, you know, the semester's over. So although I, to an extent, put in the work, I have to like get out of this, like withdraw from the semester so I don't get bad grades. The internship and these 2 courses are together. So even if you do the 2 courses, you can't do the 2 courses without the internship because the work you do for the courses has to be based off the internship. So they're like, you know, you have nothing que además. Like, you have to just get out because if you fail, I mean, obviously you get kicked out. And I mean, I've never had an F. So I was like, no. You know, I'm not, there's no way. Because, you know, you can't, yes, you can recover, but you can't really recover from an F. Like,
an F is hard, bro. An F is intense.
Yeah. So I was like, nah, there's no way. I'm like, it's been beautiful couple months. I love life. Besides the school aspect, because at first I was giving myself a lot of anxiety because it was like, okay, so now I'm a whole semester behind. What am I going to do? Because, you know, I don't have my license. I don't have my license in social work, so I can't technically be a therapist anywhere. because I don't have my license in social work. I need to finish this major so I get the license, blah, 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 you know, the steps. So I'm like, perfect. I'm a semester behind now. What am I going to do? These classes aren't offered in the summer. So ahora qué? And so there's a point I was beating myself up because I'm like, bro, I need to shut up. There's nothing I could do. You know, like me super fixating on this is not going to resolve the issue. It's just going to make me worse. So I was like, you know, let me backtrack for a second and like catch myself, because that's just going to make me worse than what I already, you know, feel doing these classes to a certain extent, but still having to leave the classes. Like I said, I never experienced like that anxious feeling. I think that's also another good thing a good thing that I had from like the ADHD was I would just be like in cloud nine, like doo-doo-doo, like nothing. Like when I tell everybody, like there's literally nothing going on here. There's literally like flatline. I promise you, like I used to never overthink. I never overthought. There's flat, like nothing. Like, you know, the image of the monkey going like this with the symbols.
You told
Like
me
that's
that
what's in here. Like that's what's in here. I'm telling you, like there's nothing, just beep, nothing. So I mean, to the extent I liked it like that because I'd rather have the beep than overthinking, you know what I mean? Feel myself overthinking or like I fixándome over something that I, to be honest, can't control at this time or can't really fix. I like catch myself. I'm like, okay, hold on, because I'm carrying this load for no reason because there's nothing I can do to resolve it. I already did what I can. I exhausted what I can.
Yeah.
So there's times where I catch myself, but in September to like December, the biggest issue wasn't even school. The biggest issue was my job because we had a new director and she was not even that she was like super structured. It was like she was doing the most.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's good to sometimes do the most as opposed to the, you know, not enough. But it's like nos están agotando. This is what needs to be done as per policy and procedure. And you're doing this just in case. Like, and that's the thing. I'm a just in case person. I'll do them, like, not the most, but like, I'll bring 3 pairs of socks just in case. Or, you know, an extra pair of sneakers just in case. But like, okay, you're doing too much. Like, we already work too much for you to do the most. And so that's what created the anxiety. And that's when I told my psychiatrist, like, I think I'm anxious. And then he medicated me for that, which honestly, like I said, I've never been opposed to medication. If you tell me take this for whatever, okay, cool. Like, you know, obviously a medical person, a personnel, obviously, not just like you and me, like, hey, take these M&Ms. But
yeah.
But, you know, I know there are people, you know, that are opposed to it mostly because of our, I guess, culture and stuff, because of what it's shown to us as being negative or
crazy.
Yeah, we're crazy, or I mean, not this bad, but like that you could pray XYZ away.
Oh yeah, that's nut stuff.
I work with 99% the Latino population. So I have to try and also tell them like, hey, it isn't 1922. Medication is not bad. Like
1922.
It's all right. Like, hello. Like, of course, you don't want you to, you know, overdo the medication. And if it tells you to do 1, 2, 3, that's it, 1, 2, 3. But like, it's not anything negative. You're not less of a person because you take medication, you know? You're not going to tell diabetic, nah, don't take your insulin because, you know, like,
I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I tell my clients. Like, you're not going to tell someone that needs their insulin, like, you'll be all right. Like, it's okay. It's just in your head. What? You know what I mean? It's the same concept. And so
it's just in your head. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, I'm like, then my head is done up because like but yeah, so when I started experiencing that, I was like, whoa, what is this? All that joke around and stuff. Like I used to never overthink anything. Like I told you, I'm very impulsive. Even though I'm medicated, let's say usually I'm 100% impulsive. I'm more like 40% impulsive. It's still there. It still lingers, but usually there's nothing here. It's just, I'm just, you know, doing. And so when the anxiety began, it's just like, I started thinking, like overthinking things. I'm like, I'm annoyed. I was like, this is annoying. Like, damn, people do this for free. Like, that's crazy. I'm like, I wish my brain can work this hard for school. Like, damn. Like, but not only because of work do I know how to, I guess, not talk myself out of it, but like bring myself back down to my middle ground per se. When it comes to me, like for instance, when this issue with the school happened, I was like, now I'm gonna owe so much money because even it's so far into the semester, I'm going to owe, and I'm like, honestly, I'm gonna owe whether I owe. That's it. And me stressing that I owe is not gonna make my account at zero. You know what I mean? It's not gonna make my loans go away. I mean, noted this semester I worked for the VA in my school, so they technically paid for my school, but ain't shit free. So I'm probably gonna have to pay them back. You know what I mean? It's not like I pushed that worry away. It's just like, honestly, like, me super stressing it, it's not going to change. I don't tell my clients, it's like, bro, you stressing it, we're not going to make it better. Obviously, I don't tell that to my clients. But because of how I know that, how deep people can get into that, because of how I've seen with clients and whatever, I try and catch myself before I get to that point. Because then it's like I hide into my own bubble because I am, overthinking times 1,000 to things I, at the moment, can't control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I kind of like catch myself when it first started, I guess. I was like, what is this? Like, why do people do this? Like, and so although I worked with clients that, go through the same things, I never experienced it myself, or at least I don't think I did. So I'm like, what is going on? What in the step 5 of ADHD is this? Like, what is this? And so I was like, I must have discovered a new ADHD. It must have been hibernating in here really quick. Because I was like, what is this? And then that's when I explained to my psychiatrist, who was like, yeah, you're anxious. I'm like, oh, okay. So like, you know what I mean?
They're like, bro, really?
I was like, for real? Like, I was like, great. It was difficult because like I said, I don't have insurance. So like all this comes out of pocket. Seeing the psychiatrist comes out of pocket. Even to the point he's like, you sure you don't have insurance? I'm like, bro, of course I don't have insurance. I want to be joking. I'm gonna bill you. I'm gonna tell you to bill it. Like, hello?
Oh my
and he
gosh.
was like he would like help me out. Like, he's his own psychiatrist, so he could do whatever, he wants. Legally, obviously. And so he would be like, instead of the session being whatever $1 million, it's gonna be, $500,000. You know what I mean? So like he'll like try and help me out, per se. One thing I've told myself, like, of course money is important, it's a necessity. But like, if I need to spend XY, although obviously people don't have the means, but like, I'll max the hell out of my credit card if I have to do it, so I can not be in my head for a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course,
it's important to invest in your mental health just how you invest in your physical health.
Yeah. So obviously, not everyone has those means, but because there's a time I stressed that too, like, oh, I have to pay this man cash, not cash, but like,
out of
like on
pocket.
my own. And I was just like, and it sounds like cliche, whatever, but like, you can't really put a price on mental health, to be honest. Like,
That's true.
not only cause me, myself, but like seeing people close to me have a certain headspace, like that has been very, I guess, negative per se. It kind of catches you like, okay, bro, like, if you could not provide, but if you can help yourself out in this aspect, like, exhaust as much as you can, because it's important. Because if you have a million things to do for work, whatever, if you are not there mentally, you could do, you could try and work 100 million times, but it's not gonna happen because you're not there. Same thing with school, kids, whatever. That's what I think. And I know you asked me a question, and I probably did the most. Explained it for 45 minutes.
You've been here for 41 minutes. Right. You said that you weren't
45, and that's it. No, I'm just kidding.
Cutting you off. You said that you were never really anxious before in the past, and you could tell me whether or not you want to go deep into this question or answer it at all. But I remember you being very anxious to, like, in your relationship, in terms of like how Kim will react to something.
Oh, that was anxiety. So no.
Yeah, bro. I was like, this is not okay. I'm like, it's not good. But yeah.
Oh, well then I had that times 20 in September to now. So like, that was just a prerequisite of what I had.
A little yeah. You've always been an anxious person though. Cause I remember, like, I mean, with due reason though, like you you lose your cleats or something like that, but you'd panic. Like you'd panic. And I don't know if that's just because you're like a golden retriever type of person emotionally.
Yes.
Or or just, but yeah, you've had a lot of panic. I would say at least very least panic attacks in the past. You were very calm when you got into a car accident, but everything else.
That's one of the, I guess, I don't know what you want to call it, whatever. But in certain situations like that, like 90% of the time, I'm like focused, not focused, but like
Is it
present.
fight
You
or
know,
flight or freeze? Or is that stuff?
yeah, mine is fight as hell.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm not saying it's never been freeze, but there has been times where maybe freeze, but like 90% of the time is fight.
Yeah,
Like
you're always like in that
um
fight mode, yeah.
yeah, and so that's funny because I had a job interview yesterday and they asked me something with one of the clients I used to have in my other job. He was autistic. They don't like change, whatever. And he didn't as well. I was new to being his therapist. Mind you, he was like 6'2". Like I'm barely 5'2". Like I am
Did you meet
bite
him in
size.
person?
Like yeah, it was in person. So
Oh
I
God.
would go to his house. And so the first day he grabbed me, he like bear hugged me and he like threw me on the couch. And I was like, what what even occurred? And obviously I wasn't going to yell at him because
Yeah.
that's the wrong thing to do, period. But like I was able to get up and like, let's reassess the situation because you can't do this. Like, whoa, you know what I mean? And
Was
so
he
like I
playing
told that,
around or like he wanted to fight you?
not that he wanted to fight me. It was like, bro, who are you? Why are you in my space kind of situation.
Oh wow. Oh
And so
geez, that's
like,
scary.
I mean, I at the same time, it was kind of my fault because like I didn't realize that I guess, that location was a space. Still, regardless, he shouldn't do that. So he has to learn that you don't do that. And so like I told the person that was interviewing me, I'm like, this I reacted like XYZ. And they're like, wow, that's really good. I'm like, yeah. They're like, is that because you're in the army? I was like, nah, that's just I don't know why. That's just like I don't know. Like
Wait, what was the
sometimes
question? What
I
did
know
they
how to
ask you?
if that's because if I reacted the way I reacted because like I was in the army because like
Oh, the
I was
army. Okay.
not tough, but like I didn't let
Yeah.
it break me down emotionally, whatever. I guess that's a good aspect of like I don't think that much. I just like
You're just like, it is
do
what it
like
is.
yeah, literally like bro, okay, cool, like whatever. Ya pasó. To extent that helps me and that doesn't help me because like this is once again trauma. Hello. But like I was so used to having like issues and arguments and fight with my parent, and then like 10 minutes later be like, okay, cool, we're good. And I'm like, so that's how I am with everything. You could curse me out and I'll be like 5 minutes like, you'll be good. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's that's a good thing and bad thing, obviously, because
Yeah.
like, bro, you shouldn't be cursing at me, whatever. But like, good thing because I'm like, okay, I expect everything to work that way, especially arguments. And like, obviously, things don't work that way, but I know I do that, and so it's like still be angry, or like be you're or you just had
Reminding
argument
yourself.
face, argument face. Yeah, yeah. Because then that goes back to like what you said, like I'm dead ass like golden tree. I'll be like, okay, cool, we're gonna play now, like playing games, like okay, like it's over. To an extent, I guess you could see like my feelings are not validated, but like I don't be thinking like that. I just be like, okay, is it over? Are we truce? Like that's it. That's just how I
What did
have
your
adapted.
psychiatrist say about this?
I guess I never brought it up. My therapist got a
What
whole
did she
list.
say?
She was like, so we need to meet in person. I was like, damn, you think I'm fucked? She was like, no. I was like, you lying. You think I'm fucked. She tried to have a serious face. I'm like, all right, sorry, we're serious. All right, I'll be there. Like, bro, it's a joke. Just laugh
Oh
with
my
me. I know
God.
it's funny. I know I'm funny.
Just
Like,
laugh with me.
it's just laugh with me, bro. It's funny. I know it is. I had to learn the hard way, really, that that's not how you do things. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, but like, that's how I, like, with the ADHD thing, I learned to adapt my own way that it worked for me. So
Yeah.
the same thing I did for when, arguments and fights, whatever happened with my mom. So like, I adapted and dealt with it however I could at that time. And I guess it carried over
Carried over.
to everything, I mean, I still don't say that's a bad thing. I like the reset button. I like the okay, cool, are we good? Like, is this over? Like, I mean, of
I'm
course,
dead.
people if people are mad or they're mad, but like at the same time, I don't know. I just think life is too short. Like, hate me for 2 seconds and
That's
turn the
true.
page.
I
I don't
also
know.
feel like
Legal
you
joke.
use humor to deflect a lot of things too.
Oh, of course. Hello.
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, not only deflect, but also deal. So like
Yeah, yeah.
in the aspect of school, I just, or like the fact that I didn't get that job in February, I just be like, LOL, I'm a criminal. That's why I didn't get the job in February. It's things like that. You know what I mean? Like stupid shit like that that makes no sense. Or like, oh, I didn't pay my toll. I'm obviously not gonna get hired. You know, like some stupid shit. Like I also use that as I guess a coping mechanism to an extent. In my head, I don't see it as like if I speak about it, like let's say I'm like bashing my like thinking process. I'm not like literally bashing myself. I find it funny. Like I'm a golden retriever, laugh with me. Like it's funny to me. It is what it is. That's it. And that aspect, I've come to terms with it. And like now we're gonna laugh about it because like that's it. Like it's funny. Laugh with me. That's it. So like yeah, I use not only to deflect but also to like deal with things. And honestly, it's worked for me, and I like it. So, and that's the thing. But I've
And I
never,
like it.
although I have a resting bitch face, I don't really do anything. I mean, obviously I can be serious, but like I
Can
don't
you
like
know?
to think. Yes, I don't like to. I don't really like to like take things serious. Like for instance, I guess make a sidebar number 100. But like when I was in the army and I was in training, when I was standing at attention and the drill sergeant was in my face screaming, I would literally like be serious as hell, look right through him. He was like, damn, it's like you're looking right through me. But he's yelling. And I was just like, and then I was like, yeah, bro, like I do this. Like I could be funny as hell, but I could be stupid serious and scary. Like, but like
How did you go through the army, bro?
the funny thing is I was always doing push-ups because I was always making jokes. And so my drill sergeant will make me do push-ups all the time. She was like, "Oh, you're funny." She was like, "You're gonna be a strong ass clown after this." And I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, this explains so much. Remember when you used to just do random push-ups in the locker room? Just like, I gotta do
Yeah, I was
push-ups.
big as hell. I was big as hell. Oh boy, I was big as hell. I almost had no neck. How big I was.
Oh man, throwback. Is there any piece of advice that you would give anyone who's listening to you right now?
Speaking the ADHD aspect, I guess just find something that works for you as long as it's safe, obviously, you know. Use it. If it works for you, it works for you. Like I said, nothing negative, nothing crazy or illegal. Just because it works for me doesn't mean it works for you, vice versa. Because although ADHD, not anybody, but a lot of people may have, our way of adapting is different. So I could use the many index cards that are many colors, but you know, another person can use audiobooks or whatever. But I guess the best advice is use what works for you in any aspect, whether it's school, life, I don't know, work. And people may say that's weird, whatever. Why are you doing extra steps? But if it works for you, and like I said, it's not negative or illegal or whatever, do it. Eventually, you'll find what works for you, whether it's for school, studying, work, whatever. And just use it and go with it. That's it. Thanks for listening to Journey with Jess.